Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, trying to be the historic one in best of one today. And you know, they told me, they said Sphinx of Revelation is coming to historic. You gain X life and draw X cards. White, blue, blue, X. Few cards have brought me as much joy. Few cards have brought me, have just put as much joy in my heart as Sphinx's Revelation. Because you see, with Sphinx's Revelation, why win? You can just keep playing Magic. You just always draw more cards and you always gain more life. It's like Hydroid Krasis, but for a blue mage. I know, Hydroid Krasis is blue, shut up. But for a proper blue mage, because we can counter spells, keep mana open, counter various spells, and then if they do nothing, we Sphinx's Revelation. It's so sweet that the moment I knew this was spoiled in Historic, I said, there goes 4 Mythic wildcards, and I'm going to be playing 4 of those in Historic for the foreseeable future. And that's what Historic, I think, is for those of us who play it. It's a little bit of a nostalgia and a little bit of the decks that rotated from Standard. It's really play what you want, the format. Not everything is good, and I'm not actually sure if this deck is good, to be honest, but you do get to play that kind of Magic. Whatever your favorite Magic is, there's probably a deck for you in Historic. So, this deck also had got another reprinting, Wrath of God. Destroy all creatures. They can't be regenerated. That's a lot better than letting your opponent draw cards with Shatter of the Sky, isn't it? 4 of those. So this deck was basically, here was the theory I started with. 4 of each of these. 4 Revs, 4 of good old Teferi, we missed you, and 4 Wraths. That's what I'm doing. I'm also going to run 4 of a lot of these blue-white dual lands. All right? So I have really good mana. After that, I don't know. It's best of one. I don't know what to do in this format as far as metagaming. It's all over the place. I seem to play against so many different things. I can't pin it down. And because of that, I just switched to, you know, if I can't pin it down, I'm gonna blow their mind. I'm going to make them play around all these different effects, right? I'm going to play all these cards that are kind of useful, sometimes blow out, sometimes narrow, because as soon as they see one, they're going to think, oh, CGB plays that card. I'm going to have to play around that the rest of the game because he usually runs 2s and 3s and 4s, and most players do, not just me. But actually, no, I only have 1. So an example of cards that just get you because you have 1 of them. Gideon's Triumph. Oh, well, now I should attack with multiple creatures. Settle the Wreckage. Haha, you attacked with multiple creatures. Seal Away. You played around Settle the Wreckage? Boom. Seal Away. Got you. Censor. Pay 1, cycle 1. I'll often just cycle this right away so the opponent thinks I have more of them. So they always like play around it the rest of the game. Then we have goodies like just glue cards, Omen of the Sea, and Search for Iskanta. I'm not sure which one's better, but I know I don't want multiples of either. So I like it just the way it is. Tail's End, a good gotcha right there. Dovin's Veto, another gotcha. And then we've got Mind Stone. 1 Mind Stone. Because this is another one where I don't want to ramp that much, but oftentimes I don't have anything useful to do on turn 2, especially if I'm on the play. And ramping into Settle the Wreckage, Wrath of God, or Shatter the Sky is amazing, and then following it up with Teferi is great. So 1 Mind Stone is pretty good. Timely Reinforcements. This card is sweet. If you haven't played this against aggro, you're missing out. Gideon of Trials is a new one. The 0 says that you get an emblem, and as long as you control a Gideon Planeswalker, you can't lose the game, and your opponents can't win the game. That includes decking, should that come up. But most of the time, you're just playing the +1 prevent damage. And for those of you screaming, what's your win con? Your deck doesn't have 50 creatures. Where's the win con? Gideon of the Trials holds it down. 4/4, indestructible, get them. A few more cards they might play around are Mystical Dispute and Whirlwind Denial, which stops Sharknado and Hydroid Krasis, so is worth a 1 of. A Narset, just to catch the mirror or the ramp opponents with the Uros or what have you. Maybe it should be more Narsets. But 2 Absorbs. This is another one I played 4 of and then ended up bringing in like Dispute and Whirlwind Denial because sometimes it was too slow and the life wasn't always important since Sphinx's Rev gains a ton of life if you're doing it right. And then there's this card. What the heck is this card doing? In Historic, Pact of Negation, a 0-mana counterspell. There must be something wrong with this card. Yeah, if you don't pay 5 at the beginning of your next end step, you lose or upkeep. You lose the game. Game over, man. Game over. But there is sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes a 5-mana counterspell so you can tap out and do something like Resolve a Giant Revelation is good. But there's also a combo. If you have a Gideon emblem and your Gideon's on the field, you don't have to pay because you can't lose the game. See what happened there? This Commit to Memory is fresh out of Amonkhet. It's a pretty sweet card. Yes, we can put any spell or non-land permanent into its owner's library. That's nice. But the memory lets us reshuffle and do it all again. Because why win the game when you can Sphinx's Rev and Teferi? Like, what's the point of that? Well, just in case we decide to win the game, here's a Shark Typhoon. And then, of course, we have one Fae of Wishes, because why wouldn't I wish board? We don't have enough one-ofs in our life. And here is just a sideboard full of absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Another Pact of Negation. Sometimes you just want a Fae of Wishes for a counterspell. A Grafdigger's Cage. A Rest in Peace. I mean, we know Cage. Rest in Peace is a new one, though. It is the overlord of all graveyard hate. For 2 mana, you exile all cards in all graveyards, and if a card or token would go to the graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. It even turns off all dies effects. This card is just game over in some cases. Then we have the other usual suspects. A 9 lives, because that's also a combo with Gideon of the Trials, and also a combo with Tail's End. I think it's also a combo with Whirlwind Denial. Nope. Things that your opponents control, my bad. Anyway, an Ixalan's Binding can just shut out a card forever. Another Timely Reinforcements, because it's great against aggro. A Cleansing Nova to blow up artifacts and enchantments or creatures. Fall of the Thran. Is that Field of the Dead? Boom. If you can put it together, the combo with Rest in Peace is also pretty funny. Approach of the Second Sun is a win con that was reprinted in Amonkhet that people are super excited about. When you cast it, you gain 7. It goes into your deck, top 7. If you cast it again, you win. Doesn't matter what the opponent's board is, doesn't matter what their life total is. You win. Hour of Revelation. Blow it up. Blow it all up. Strictly better planar cleansing. Heliod's Intervention, blow up all that stuff. Mass Manipulation, steal stuff. You get the gist. So many one-ofs, too many cards to talk about. Dive in. Let the Sphinx's Revelation nonsense begin. Going first with Censor. What a way to start the day. And a nice mix of land. Censor, Absorb, Rev. Uh-oh. Merfolk's Secret Keeper. What? What do we have here? Some kind of a combo. Scholar of the Lost Trove. Thirst for Knowledge. Alright, Fae of Wishes, you're getting Rest in Peace. Can't wait to show people how that card works. Turn 2. Do I have to censor something? I think we can say go here. I might have to censor something. We do have to hit land drop, so I'm cycling Censor for sure. If they play nothing worth censoring. Yeah, I can't censor that. Champion of Wits and Godpharaoh's Gift. Oh, heck yes. I remember this deck. It won't bring me extreme joy. Now this might not be the deck I really remember, of course. A lot could be different. So let's see if we can absorb, fetch Rest in Peace, and call it a day. Just go for the knockout punch. Stitcher's Supplier, you got it. Massacre Worm, another Champion of Wits into the graveyard. I'm really curious to see this card right here. Scholar of the Lost Trove. When it enters the battlefield, you may cast an instant sorcery or artifact from your graveyard without paying its cost. So if you find a way to reanimate it, you can get a Godpharaoh's Gift. So crazy. Oh yeah. Oh, I like this opponent. That's nice. Establish that dominance. Alright, so they're going to chart this course. So next turn they could have the Blood for Bones. Sack one of these, get back the Scholar, get the God Pharaoh's Gift, get back something else. I think I should try to counter that first before I fetch with Fae. Or we just get our way to 6 mana. We're not under pressure. We can Sphinx's Rev for baby amounts to try to keep hitting land drops if they don't go for it. I'm guessing Blood for Bones is a card. Mire Triton, okay, that's a little bit of pressure, but still not a lot. 2 land, 2 life. Tapped land, scry it up. So they're still hitting land drops. 1 to the bottom. And a Secret Keeper. Alright, let's go for 1 card this time. So one thing I'm worried about is that our opponent's going to Thoughtseize their way through the Absorb. Oh no. No, not missed land drops. The only thing that can beat us is our 28 land deck whiffing. I think it's 28. Another supplier. Okay. If we have to tap out for this Wrath of God, we can't beat them. Oh, Unburial Rites. That makes sense. Man, if we had hit the land drop there, we'd be so close to winning this game. Yeah, it's probably not Blood for Bones. It's got to be Unburial Rites, I think. Okay, they say go. They don't want to walk into Counterspell. Another baby Rev. Just trying to get there. There's 2 lands. Let's deploy our Search for Azcanta. Hold the Absorb. Next turn, get Rest in Peace. So we just need to keep them from doing the thing for 1 turn. 1 turn. They draw a Tower. Ooh. That's scary. That's a mana boost. How much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not enough to Unburial Rites twice. And now they've skipped their attack step anyway, so the God Pharaoh's Gift doesn't really do anything if they were to get that. So they're going to get this Champion of Wits, which draws 4, discards 2, and we can't counter it. So, well played by the opponent. They'll have a handful of stuff, and they're going to hit us really hard next turn, and then we have to take it from there. Graveyard, I don't actually need you right now. Alright, Faye. Let's shut this down. Nambo with the Search for Azcanta, by the way.
Let me know.
But we do what we gotta do. So this turn we take 10. Then we have to Wrath. It would be nice to draw another land to have either Absorb or Gideon as well. I guess we can also play a 1/4 Fae. Let's see what the opponent does. They have this turn to create a good, like, pressure point. And we know they have some expensive and powerful cards in their deck. That 0/4. It's the mono-red player playing an Esper combo deck. Keep it coming, 0/4. Don't stop. Don't stop for a moment. Don't stop for anyone. Don't let anyone tell you you're not an aggressive card, okay? Library. So, at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. Literally does nothing while we have Rest in Peace. If a card or token we put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it. So, yeah. Actual nothing there. And Wratham. Doesn't even trigger the death effects. So Stitcher's Supplier there, not milling 3. Because it never hit the graveyard. Exiled instead of died. Thirst for knowledge, knock yourself out. I'm just going to counter big things that could potentially kill me. If the opponent wants to work on some self-mill, makes my job easier. They did a good job getting these Thirst for Knowledge out, though, before the Narset came down. I don't know if that was... if they thought about that, or just fortuitous. Sad gift. A few discards here. And you see them go direct to... you see it go direct to exile, which is awesome. Timely Reinforcements, let's keep that. It's a good life rebuilder for when the opponent... They must try to go aggro here at some point. Let's play Narset, shut down the card draw. Grab another Wrath of God for when they decide to play their creatures. Hold up Absorb. Let the Blue Mage flow through you. The bluest of mages. Oh man, full turn do nothing and exile what? Library. What did they discard? Platinum Angel instead of playing it? I guess they only have 6. There you are. Get to fairy cooking. Yep, for those who never played with Rest in Peace, it is the gold standard of graveyard hate, and you can see why. They can't get anything going in the yard, because anything that goes to the graveyard from anywhere is exiled. It also eliminates the graveyard the second that you play it. Okay, when it enters the battlefield, you may cast from the graveyard. Sure. You got it. Doesn't really stop me from doing anything. This is fine. Yay, we hit our land. The only concern I had in the world. Getting into the trials. Can shut this down with the plus, which says that if it would deal damage, it deals none instead.
Now it's my turn.
And we can also Timely here and still have Absorb available, thanks to Teferi. Gain 6 life, make 3 tokens. Yep, it's the full lock. They exile it to make mana and play Meteor Golem. Now that hasn't entered the battlefield ability, so let's not allow it. And that's the game. On the draw, this hand is kind of scary. If we draw 2 lands, it's good, but otherwise it's bad with the double rev. I'm going to mulligan and keep. The One of Tail's End shows up not once, but twice. Makes sense. That's magic. Temple of Enlightenment for the opponent. Let's open with the farmland. So if we want to make Tail's End available on 2, we can. We might have to counter a Narset. In the old day, I would have said we might have to counter a Teferi, Time Raveler, but that card has been banished from Historic. Okay, we're gonna stare at each other. Blue-white mages. Who's gonna run out of land first? I feel like I'm at a disadvantage, having mulliganed. Nice. Got to Whirlwind, deny a Shark Typhoon on 3. And the opponent, no cards to punish, thank goodness. And our own Shark Typhoon, but we're going to miss a land drop to get it. Can be great for attacking Planeswalkers, though. But man, can I afford to miss a land drop, really? It is one of the best cards against them, but I would prefer to save it. Plus our opponent has Castle Ventress. Right now they're going to win the long game, because they're never going to run out of land drops. And now they have Field of Ruin, so they have a very stable position. We hit the land. Alright, so being behind and being against Castle Ventress, I'm just going to run out Teferi and try to be aggressive. Because if it resolves, that's how we get That's how we get ahead in the game. But every turn we just say go and they scry. It's a disaster. Okay, they didn't have their own Teferi to punish us with. That's good. Let's fire this off. Try to hit lands. We don't really have a choice. Opponent's gonna Shark Typhoon. Nothing we can do. Yeah, we're up against a deck that's just better than ours for the mirror. Multiple Shark Typhoons. Didn't have to mulligan. Hit land drops. Had the absorb. The Narset. Can I really allow that? I can't. Still hitting land drops, wow. Alright. So, auto pay. And we miss. Yeah. Wasn't gonna be, guys. This one was a disaster. We can hope they're on blanks, but even if they're on blanks, they're gonna scry. And they're up, what, 2, 3 lands now? As Kanta runs into the Field of Ruin, the Field of Ruin can take out their castle. And we can even do it after the scry. So I guess that's not the worst thing. Let's go for a Wrath. Try to remove the Shark. See if the opponent wants to defend. And they castle in response. Interesting. Let's see what they choose to keep. 2 to the bottom. They don't want to castle on their upkeep, so if I activate this on their upkeep, what happens? The other thing I can do right here is I might be able to resolve an Azcanta, but they still have their own Field of Ruin, so it's not like that's a big play. Yeah, let's just say go, especially since they scried to the bottom. Actually, the way that they did that, maybe we can get them to scry awkwardly on our turn. So we play Azcanta now. And then next turn, maybe on our main phase, we can target this. If they scry in response, they use some of their mana. That can be a big advantage. Crap. Well, that's the punish. That's a punish. And they hit an absorb. Alright, we need our own Shark Typhoon back, which I believe I put on the bottom like a million years ago. Let's keep this. Just hit our lands. And let's see, if I blow this up on their upkeep, are they going to activate it? I can't really take advantage, can I? I wonder if they're also a Sphinx's Rev deck when they're playing Frantic Inventory. That's going to be something to try to keep an eye on. No, don't shuffle away my castle. Rats. Rats. Alright, please whiff. Please whiff. 2 absorbs. Feels great. We'll be able to push through pretty much anything they want to. Oh. Okay. Okay, I wonder if they'll try to use the absorbs to defend the Baneslayer. That's one potential way we can get into the game, is if they decide to guard the Baneslayer with their life. Let's test the waters with a timely reinforcements. And that resolves. Now that we have soldiers, we can attack the Narset. So that Sphinx's Rev is back on the table. Let's use the expensive one. Yeah, they're looking to just play counter spells every turn and use that to keep us from, and just have the Baneslayer go to victory. That is a line that I see a lot of control players take. That's pretty bad here. They got lucky though. They drew Teferi.
You know what?
They got lucky. They did not have that on the previous turns. We're gonna have to figure out how to get rid of Teferi now. So their field isn't untapped. Let's go with Graveyard. transform. There's a land. Narset down. Teferi tag.
Don't make another move.
Such violence is upsetting.
We could try to activate this now, but they have a counter open anyway. So no reason to.
Oh, that thought.
The opponent might have trouble with these tokens. Baneslayer staying aggressive. Let's try a seal away. Opponent snaps off another counter. Let's activate. Is Kanta the Sunken Ruin? Wrath of God. Well, not exactly what I was looking for. Up to 39. Here comes Field of Ruin. Let's fight the field with the tail's end. And do they have another counterspell? They've been snapping them off. It's Frantic Inventory, draw 2. But that resolved. And we've got them mostly tapped out, but now they get to untap 2. That's very frustrating. Double Wrath of God. Not the card you want when you're trying to beat down a Teferi with your tokens. Alright, I think we have to say go.
As soon as I think of one.
I'm willing to go to 1 here. They don't go for a Shark Typhoon.
Let's skip to the good part.
I thought we were a mile behind. Now I feel like we're still a mile behind. A second Escanta, or a second Field of Ruin. Yeah. Their deck is just better against ours. They just have the right cards. Plus we got really unlucky with the double Wrath of God there. There's a lot of things we could have found that would have been good. But we didn't find it. Really curious though, is the opponent going to still pursue the Baneslayer U into Oblivion plan? And it looks like they are. They know about the Absorb and the Wrath coming up. They only have 7 mana. Although I guess they get 2 back. Yep. Blast Zone. Too bad we didn't have the time to get that to 5. Let's try to kill this Teferi. Settle the Wreckage. Indeed. So we could go get the land, or we can fight this. I say we fight. I'm willing to fight. They know about the Absorb, but they don't know I have double Wrath.
Really should have seen that coming.
Resolves. Wow. Shark Typhoon? Censor. Okay. So what are the keys? They're down 2 Narsets. They cycle 3 Censors. So they have a full grip against a Wrath of God. And now they have a Castle Ardenvale. There's no way I should... I'm still so far behind, it's stupid. Why am I playing this game? Alright. Let's get 1 counter on it. Never know where that mana could matter. Alright, you got a counter spell? No?
I'm not going to sit.
What's happening?
No time for
What is happening? It's a temple. Great. Where's Sphinx's Rev? Let's go. Absorb. Okay. Not sure if that's actually a good keep or not. I'm really iffy about it, to be honest. so they're going face. No. Oh, that's game, isn't it? Unless they cast something into this. My goodness, I hate them. I want to draw perfect. I don't like being the one who doesn't draw well. Weird. Alright. Blow it up. I mean, they have full grip, right? Shouldn't be surprising to anybody that they had it. Whatever it is. Okay, another turn here. They haven't countered anything in a few turns. I just need them to play a spell for the absorb, but they don't have to. I need to draw something to force them to. That's not what I had in mind. Alright, let's start with the Wrath. Maybe they'll counter it. Nope. Alright. The absorb your own thing plan when you're this far behind just isn't a good plan. Alright. I mean, I guess see if they play a spell. Like Sphinx's Revelation. But God. Oh. Just not lucky. Alright, on the play. Double Wrath. An Absorb I can't cast because of a Field of Ruin. We'll see if that bites us. Just get the good-looking mana online. Sultai so far. Could be Field of the Dead. Field of the Dead is an extremely challenging matchup. You have to draw Sphinx's Rev. You have to get a Teferi going pretty fast. We're not in a terrible position for that. Let's play this one, Farmland the next turn, Teferi the next. Go. Interesting. Just flash that in, huh? Alright. Let's counter it. We need the board nice and stable for Teferi. And now we're tapped out. Maybe the opponent makes a move. Karn. Karn getting what? Spyglass?
I will not stop.
Should be a Spyglass. Chaos Wand. Sure. Let's just drop a Teferi and send the Karn away. Chaos Wand, I have so many cards in my deck that, like, aren't good hits against me that I'm not actually afraid of it. That's a frustrating one.
Focus on your prowess.
That's a very, very frustrating one. And a Thoughtseize. Okay, we're getting torn apart. What the heck is going on, man? We just keep playing against Narset. I guess I want some cards back. May as well take this up.
Hold that thought.
Make them do it again?
Slow this down.
Do they have another answer to the Teferi? Because I don't think we can wait. Like, if we sit here trying to tick up our Teferi and then minus it later, they just Thoughtseize the other one. Alright, we're getting to draw a card. Smells like a Brazen Borrower, though. They already got us with one of those. Never know what we might need the mana for. God, this is so frustrating. Let's get rid of the Karn. Wow, they are a very hateful breed of Sultai Mage. Oh my goodness. Look at all these, like, they are out to beat control decks. Aggro, they've got a little, like, these cards are so slow and clunky against aggro. Ugh, I can't believe it. Here they are running Karn, fetching Chaos Wands. They're running Narsets all over the place, and there they are. They got an Iskanta, and we just milled them. Like, what a disaster. Graveyard for that. Wow, where were you? This card was not around when it needed to be. Let's get them with a Wrath. They can flip this. They get one use out of it before we can Field of Ruin theirs. And we're on 7, so we can flip ours. Let's not allow that. Chaos Wand. Still, I've got so many hits. I mean, this might be a fun card for them, but I don't think it's a good card for them. Library, transform. Let's see if the opponent uses his Kanta in response. They might be afraid to. There, no fear whatsoever. I mean, they know one of my cards is Wrath of God. Oh my goodness. Is that the 4th Narset? No, one of them we had to mill back in. That's still insane. Doesn't stop the Iskanta, though. I could find a Pact of Negation off this. Would I do that? I suppose I would. The Sphinx's Rev. God. Oh, I'm angry. Oh my goodness. And a Karn. So I'm stressing out. This opponent is absolutely making me angry. Spyglass, what's that good against? The Sunken Ruin. You can put this back in the deck. I think we better. Second from the top. They might find a way to draw it, of course. Let's try to hit our land drop with the Omen, and we might just memory next turn. Okay, they might have a counter spell, or they might hit one off the wand. Let's keep this. Because I do think that casting memory is one of the only ways back into this game. We're just too far behind. Yep, Sunken Ruin shut down. The opponent has one as well, but they don't need it. Let's hope they say go and hope to use the wand as a counter spell. They don't appear to run any counter magic of their own, so I'm probably going to play as if they don't have it. Damping Sphere. If a land is tapped for 2 or more mana, and each spell a player casts costs 1 more to cast for each other spell, whatever. I guess that shuts off the Pact of Negation. Would you like to cast Wrath of God, tough guy? Alright. Well, we found our land. And we kept the Pact of Negation somehow. Wow. Yeah, can't be too surprised. They have 4 of them. Which card do you take? It is a tough choice. There's a lot going on there. They take Sphinx's Rev. Oh my gosh. Alright. 2 discard spells. They have Thought Seize and Thought Erasure. This is the greatest control deck I've ever seen. But it's working for them. They got what they wanted. Fighting me has to be just the best thing that's happened to them. And I don't mean because I'm great. I mean because I'm playing blue-white control. Okay. Pretty good. They'll probably try to get rid of the Teferi with the Chaos Wand here. We could have drawn it, but nah. Would you like to play Wrath of God? Blow up your Damping Sphere? No?
I have practiced against many foes like you. I have just the
Settle. Not great. I'm not gonna lie. Not really what I was looking for. But it does protect Narset a little bit. I'm sure the opponent's like, doesn't this person run counters? I guess I should let that go, rather than use my Pact fighting it.
My mind.
Vraska's Contempt, even. This deck is so messed up.
Awaken.
Should we make a 1/1 and attack Karn? I guess so. Cycle this. Ooh, land. Ooh, land. Alright. Brazen Borrower, of course. How many of those is this? Are we looking... Oh, we reshuffled. It's unclear how many of those it is. Sure. Have a Wrath of God. At least our opponent's really good at hitting Wrath of God. That's going well. Alright, they're fetching.
Stand down.
They must have another solution for the 1/1, or they're not thinking about it. God Pharaoh Statue. It's a card. We could try to pact it. If we're going to, we should scry first. This card's a big problem. Let's do the scry. We don't want our opponent to be able to use the Chaos Wand to hit... Okay, well. The Shark Typhoon's pretty good. We can draw into that and make a 2/2, right? And that king... So maybe we just let this resolve. Opponent's at 16? Well, here we go again. Sure. Now you get a Tail's End, which does nothing. Oh, they're really bad at Chaos Wand. And they're gonna let that one go to the graveyard. They would shuffle back in things like Wrath of God because they want me to draw them in the future. Enter the God Eternals. Okay. Look at all that crap. Could have used the veto, not gonna lie. Alright, give me a 10/10. Should have kept the Tail's End in my deck. Just messing. It's Kanta the Sunken Ruin, that's right. Here we go again. Shall we try to scry? Or do we just let this go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's enough to play Teferi still. Let's try it. If we can scry up something that won't affect the shark, it's good counterplay. Yes, you get a 0 card Sphinx's Revelation. One more turn of this. They have a Brazen Borrower, but I has a Teferi. So, We can send away the Chaos Wand, then lose Teferi. Or we can plus Teferi. This attacks Teferi down to 1. Teferi gets us 2 cards over the next turn. Let's plus the Teferi. We can also cycle the farmland. The Rivulet. Mill 4. Where will that be important? I'm not sure. But now we have the mana for Pact of Negation if we need it. This one's coming down to the wire.
Do you want me to phase you out of time?
Brazen Borrower. Here's Pact of Negation. Resolves. Opponent didn't go for the wand. Do they have something else? They have Extinction Event. Alright. Shark gone. A little bit of scry action. God Pharaoh statue's still doing work. I can't believe this game is still going after what we've been through. Let's make sure that there's still a basic in our deck. I think there's a Plains, but I want to be sure. Yep.
No time for a break.
Wrath of God. Only 6 mana. Bargain. Man, do I hate Brazen Borrower today. Alright, they get the settle. We need to draw another removal spell of some kind, which I'm pretty sure are mostly gone. Let's have a look. Well, when did not... There is a Seal Away. Narset. Let's see what we can find. Rip.
There are so many mysteries to uncover. Meditate and prepare.
God, this deck is just the never-ending nightmare. I hate it so much I can't even express. At the same time, for some reason, they're having a hard time killing me. Alright. Let's make 1/1. Try to attack this Narset. Spyglass is still keeping us from using that. Wow. Okay, they don't have counter magic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We still have some counter magic in our deck, though. But they're more likely to hit a Revelation than anything else. Let's start by attacking the Narset. We do have to watch out for Damping Sphere, too. Oh, they're using the wand. And they hit Whirlwind Denial. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, their plays are so funny. Alright. So we're still gonna need a spare mana. How do we blow all of this up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we can just get Hour of Rev. Ooh, Cleansing Nova, but that doesn't get the Narset. Hour of Rev. All your toys.
I was not prepared for this.
God Pharaoh statue too. Like, they taxed us into oblivion, but we powered through it. Another Karn, no! Make them stop! What are they gonna get now? What could be left? In Historic, it could be anything! It could be anything. I'd Maze my Tome. Yes. I think that's a really freaking good sign, you guys. By the way, this is back. We don't want to play this until they can't Vraska's Contempt it in response to bouncing it. And why did they hold it? Why did they hold it? I'm not sure. They must have another shark. Is that it? And we're at 14? That's pretty scary. What do we have to deal with the shark? I think there's still a seal away. Man, we are using everything we have in this game. Let's play a blast zone. Let's say go. There's the shark. So we already used our Whirlwind Denial and our Tail's End. Those are gone. Man, there's a lot of just land left in the deck. Oof. Look at this. Look at this. The deck has had so many cards taken away from it. "22 cards, like 5 of them aren't land." But we've got our Fae. Our Fae can still win this game with some help. Our opponent has 32 cards. We have 1 Rivulet. It's not really going to get it done. There's a Ratchet Bomb, sure. There's a Tome, sure. I'm looking at my sideboard. Pact of Negation, rest in peace, Aethergust Veto, 9 lives. Reinforcements, Cleansing Nova, Fall of the Thran, Hour of Revelation, which we used, Approach of the Second Sun, Heliod's Intervention, and Mass Manipulation. I think we just have to get Approach. Alright. So we need a Rev to fill our hand, then we get Approach. There's a Rev. Down to 8. Use Mind Tome. Draw a card. Thought Erasure? No. QQ. I can draw 9 here. Behold the lands. 12 cards in deck. Probably takes the Absorb. Yep. Mystical Dispute. Don't think that's very good right now, but we might actually get to use it on the Contempt. So, let's play you. Let's activate you. What do we discard? Timely, I don't think I need. And the Temple can go. Although all these Wraths, do we really need them all? No, absolutely not. Let's discard a Shatter. Here's the Contempt. 1 mana left. We can dispute the Contempt or discard 2 other cards. Actually, discarding is more mana efficient if we don't need these cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Now let's make sure one more time that the opponent doesn't have a card that can fetch. They don't. Okay. Let's go for the approach. And see if we get to do it next turn. God, what a game. Opponent really threw this deck at me. It's such an interesting pile, too. I spent a lot of times hating it. That's always the sign of a good deck for me. like not the kind of hate where this is stupid or dumb, like I say about lifelink cards sometimes, but the kind where it's just like, oh, It's hurting my heart to go through this, you know? Like, they just keep tearing out my heart. That's how I know that's a real deck. All right, so we can go for it. Like, we can do it right now. If it resolves, we win. Revelation. So a few things that we can do. We can mill ourselves. We can also use the Fae of Wishes and try to set up. But I think we just try to win. We can mill ourselves here, or we can draw into it. Let's do it like this. No, the Rivulet's the cleanest way. Two Teferis and an Absorb? The hell have I done? Yeah, you don't have a counter spell, do you? You don't play them. There just aren't any in this deck. They would actually benefit a lot from having one. Sacrifice the Ratchet Bomb. All right. That seems like a goodbye kind of message. Heartless Act. Their own shark going out like a G. The Gideon's still there. Boom. Oh my god. What a game. All right, MVP, Fae of Wishes. Pulled me back from the abyss. I swear to God, we were like at like 1 or 2 cards versus the world. And we are back for the post-game wrap. What is there to say? This card is beautiful. Just wonderful. And I don't care what other cards you want to surround it with. I would say as long as it has 4 Heroes of Dominaria and 4 Wrath of Gods, it's a deck. Pick all the other blue-white cards, removals, and counters that don't absolutely suck at random. Throw them in a pile. Run about 28, 27 land. And you can thank me later. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video where hopefully we will all still be cackling maniacally resolving Sphinx's revelation. Goodbye.